forget you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back seat! Tell me where you are, John!
Wolfman's got Nards!
Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about potential directors that could direct the next Halloween movie. Now yes, I know that the next Halloween movie is not round the corner. It could be in 3 years time, it could be in 5, it could be in 10 years time, we just don't know. But let's assume an ample amount of time has taken to make a new Halloween movie. Who could be the potential director? Now I've chosen 5 directors. I've chosen one from you guys. I posted I posted a question on Twitter asking you guys who you think should be the next director of Halloween, and the majority of that answer I've put into this one as well. I've chosen 4 of my own, not that I want to be, but I'm choosing 4 potential directors, and then one of them I've included from you guys as well. So let's look at the pros and cons, I don't know, but we'll look into these 5 directors and see who I think is the best potential director. We'll start with the obvious choice in David Gordon Green. Now he knows what he's doing, and when I say he knows what he's doing, I mean he knows who Michael Myers is, he knows the story of Michael Myers as well. But one thing he does know is he knows the story of Laurie Strode, and is that what we want to see next? Maybe not. Now, I know that his reception for the trilogy as a whole has not been the best. You know, his first one from 2018 got critically really good reviews, but Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends are very divisive, so it's hard for people to accept David Gordon Green to come on board and do another Halloween movie. I think if you want to direct another Halloween movie, you have to make it completely different to the previous trilogy. Therefore, David Gordon Green might not be the best choice. However, even if David Gordon Green was a good choice and we loved the Halloween trilogy and it was absolutely perfect, we run into the problem of David Gordon Green being too busy, because he's got the Exorcist trilogy coming up, he's doing the Hellraiser series or the Hellraiser movie, whatever that's going to be. So he's very busy, he's very tied up. So if you wanted to do an immediate Halloween film or one within the next couple of years, David Gordon Green wouldn't be available. But then you've also got the Blumhouse aspect. Blumhouse may not be getting the rights again to the next Halloween movie. So if it's not Blumhouse, usually Blumhouse and other companies work with directors they've worked with before, and David Gordon Green being that director, then it just wouldn't happen. So I'm including David Gordon Green on the list because he's an obvious choice, but just not a choice I would go with, and I don't think the general public would maybe go with David Gordon Green either. Next up we've got Mike Flanagan. This is the one that the majority chose from Twitter, and I never even thought of Mike Flanagan because of his style and the projects that he chooses. So basically Mike Flanagan has done a few good movies, great movies I should say, and he's mostly venturing into TV series. I don't know if it's maybe a contractual thing, but most of his projects have been for Netflix and streaming services lately, and I'm not saying they're bad, but that seems to be the vibe that he's going with. I don't know if maybe he prefers to do that or he would want to venture back into the movie world, and if he does, I think he would be a welcome addition to a Halloween film because he's certainly got the experience in the horror genre and he's obviously got the talent for it as well. I just don't know if Mike Flanagan's style would fit a Halloween film. I know that you don't want every Halloween film to be the same, but you don't want it to be completely different to that Michael Myers Halloween feel that John Carpenter gave us. So his style is very unique, and I think if you're going to go all out and do a completely different Halloween film, then maybe ask Mike Flanagan if he would be available to do it, because doing a different style, I don't want them to say we want a completely different style and let's go with a director and then it's kind of similar. If you want to go completely different, then maybe Mike Flanagan would be a good choice. Now, I did mention before that there's potential for a Halloween anthology TV series, so I would think it would be a no-brainer to choose Mike Flanagan for this, if he would obviously accept, to do a Halloween themed anthology TV series, because Mike Flanagan is not only experienced in the horror genre, but he's also experienced in making a TV series, because it is quite hard and different to do one movie compared to an 8-episode series. Mike Flanagan's got the experience for that. So in terms of a TV series, I think he would possibly be my choice for something like that. Next up, we've got James Wan. This is the high profile choice. This is the fanboy choice and the completely unrealistic choice, to be honest. Now, if you had lots and lots of money and you wanted any director to make a horror movie or any director to make a Halloween horror movie, then James Wan would probably be, if not the number one choice, but one of the top choices for maybe a lot of horror fans. I know that some people aren't fans of movies like The Conjuring, etc. But James Wan doesn't just do scary movies, scary haunted house movies. He can do action films. He can do DC Universe movies. They're not all the best films in the world, but he has got his style to it. And it's similar to Mike Flanagan. If you're going to do something different with a Halloween film, then choose someone like Mike Flanagan and James Wan, because they can give their own spin to the movie. But something about James Wan that I really like is if you ask him to make a Halloween themed film like John Carpenter's Halloween, I think he could pull it off, because he is very talented. Of course, a lot of the films he's directed are very gritty, like Saw and Death Sentence, even very creepy and eerie like Dead Silence. So his style of horror can change if he really wants to or if he needs to. So if he's asked to do a Halloween film and he accepts it, then I think he could do it in a really good style that would suit the Halloween franchise. But two of the biggest issues with James Wan is he would demand too much money, and he's also very busy. He's got the new Aquaman movie coming out, and I think it's coming out in 2023 or 2024. So he's tied up for the next couple of years anyway. So if he wants to get the ball rolling for another Halloween film, he's maybe not the best choice. Even if he's a great director, he might not be the best choice to fast track the next Halloween film. Next up, we've got Adam Wingard. Now, he's not the most popular director, but in the horror community, he probably is one of the most popular horror directors, and maybe one of the most obvious choices for another Halloween film. He directed You're Next, which was one of the best horror movies of the 21st century. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. So he's definitely experienced in making horror movies. There is some horror movies that has directed that don't get a lot of love, like Blair Witch. I really liked Blair Witch, but it doesn't get a lot of love. But it's not terrible. I don't think he's made a very terrible film. Now, he's doing the Godzilla King Kong series at the moment, and I don't like that kind of thing. And he's got another Godzilla King Kong, whatever you call it, movie coming out in 2024 or so. So he's obviously going to be tied up. But his style of filmmaking is perfect for a Halloween film, in my opinion. Now, I did do a video a couple of weeks ago talking about The Guest that he directed. It's not a pure horror movie, but it's definitely a John Carpenter Halloween 3 Season of the Witch tribute, and by God, the tribute he gives to Halloween as a whole in that film is incredible. Now, he's got a character called David who's essentially a talking Michael Myers, and it's set in a remote area in the countryside. The look and the feel, the atmosphere of this film is just top notch. If you wanted to turn the screw for a movie like The Guest and take out all the action and bring in more horror, you've got the perfect Halloween movie, if not a perfect Halloween anthology movie. So Adam Wingard obviously loves Halloween. He obviously loves John Carpenter. He can obviously direct a movie like that. So he is one of the top choices for me. Not my number one choice, but he's one of the top choices. If my number one is never going to be considered, then I would certainly say Adam Wingard should definitely be considered. Last but not least, we've got David Robert Mitchell. He's my number one choice. Now, this wasn't in order of least choice to favourite choice or anything. I've just left the best to last, because David Robert Mitchell does deserve to be the next director of Halloween. I've always said that I wanted him to direct Halloween ever since I watched It Follows in 2015. It's a 2014 movie, but I watched it in 2015. Ever since I watched that, I thought, oh wow, he would be the perfect director for a Halloween movie. Unfortunately, he didn't get the role to do the directing in 2018 for the David Gordon Green trilogy. I don't think he was ever considered anyway, but as time goes by, more and more people have seen It Follows, and I think more and more people are on board with him directing the next Halloween film. I think he's only directed one film after It Follows, something about the Silver Lake, I can't remember, but I've not seen it. I don't know if he's maybe a one and done director, that it was lightning in a bottle, he can only do it one time, I've no idea. But if It Follows has got anything to go by, then he's got the chops to direct a perfect Halloween film. He directs it in the style of John Carpenter. He knows how to light a scene, he knows how to build up the tension for a scene. He doesn't need to give us all the blood and gore like John Carpenter done in the original. Everything that John Carpenter done in the original Halloween from 1978, David Robert Mitchell done that, if not better, in It Follows. I'm not saying It Follows is a better movie, I think Halloween is a better movie, but It Follows is still a masterpiece. It's still one of the best films of the 21st century, not just horror, but film in general. It's one of those slow burners that just build up the tension of what you're not seeing on screen. It's just incredible, but we're not talking about It Follows here, we're talking about David Robert Mitchell. Not only does he direct a film like that I want for a Halloween film, he also brings in a team of people to help him to make the perfect movie. He brought in Disasterpiece to do the musical score for It Follows, and even their score is almost identical to John Carpenter's score. I can't imagine John Carpenter coming back to score another Halloween film. I think he's done. So if David Robert Mitchell would be on board to direct the next Halloween film, hopefully he would bring Disasterpiece with him to do the musical score, and you would basically have a movie like It Follows but with Michael Myers in it. How amazing would that be? Just thinking about it just sounds like a dream come true. So yeah, David Robert Mitchell is definitely my number one, and as a bonus, he's surprisingly not a busy director, so I think if they asked him to be the director, I think he would say yes, and there would be no problem with scheduling. So that's 5 potential directors to become the next Halloween director. Now this isn't 5 of my choices, like I said, it's just 5 potential and somewhat obvious choices for the public, for maybe the next production company from Malakakad to maybe sink their teeth into. But my number one choice, like I said, would be David Robert Mitchell. So my question to you guys is, you don't have to tell me all different directors, just let me know down below which person you would like to see direct the next Halloween movie and why. As always guys, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.